Shalom, our kings of Rakam Makapash from GMS London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakodash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful X, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, another lesson. And I'm going to entitle this one something along the lines, they teach a law that they follow not. Right? And this is concerning, mainly IUIC, because they're heavy pushers of keeping the law 100%. You got to keep the law 100%. In order to be delivered, to be saved, to be delivered at this place. Okay, when that's simply not true. It is not required of any of us to keep the law 100%, because it is impossible to keep the law 100%. Okay, we do, however, teach that you keep the law to the best of your abilities, right? But to teach that in order to be saved, we have to keep the law 100%, that is, going off. Okay, that's simply not true and simply impossible to do in the times that we're living in. Okay, in the captivity, under oppression, these things are simply impossible to do. Okay, and it makes Yahushua sacrifice null and void. Because if it was down to the law that the Lord would deliver us, then we wouldn't need Yahushua to make the sacrifice that he did. Right, there would be no need for it. But the fact that we can't keep the law, or not able to keep the law, is why Yahushua made the sacrifice, man, to give us remission of sins. But if you're out here, claiming that, since you've been in the truth, you're now perfect, and that, the Lord will have mercy upon you because you're now perfect, that's simply not true, man. We're not perfect people. Okay, whether in the truth or not, nobody's perfect. Everybody has sinned. Everyone sins. Okay, we're not exempt from it. So, based off that, we can't be saved. If it's a must that you have to keep 100% of the law to be saved, according to these guys. All right, so we're just gonna go into it, man, because they're just playing a role. They're playing the same characters as we're gonna read here in the scriptures, man. Concerning these wicked scribes and Pharisees. All right, that push that law doctrine. Okay, but don't really give any credence to Yahushai. Okay, because they don't. Right, they don't want to exalt the Son or the Father's names, man. So they don't give no credence to Yahushai. Okay, they're focusing on the law, and having to keep the law to be delivered, when it's Yahushai that is the deliverer. He saves, as his name suggests, right? He is the deliverer, right? And those that have faith and belief in him, if you are of the elect, okay, you're going to be saved. All right, so we're just going to get into it. I'm going to start off here in Matthew 23, and I'm going to here in the blue letter because I can run the side by side here, right? So we've got the KJV on the left here and the NOT on the right. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth between them. It's just so people can get a better understanding of certain words and stuff, right? So I'm gonna start off in here. The KJV, verse 1 says, "Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat," right? So they're at the head. Okay, they're the ones leading the people. All right, and these guys, they, IUIC, they claim to sit in that seat, right? We see Nate high and mighty on his horse, right? And he's the one out here, commanding people to keep the law and all this kind of stuff, right? So, he fancies himself to be in that position also. Okay. General Hana, he thinks the same thing, but he don't push the law like that. But it's mostly Nate that pushes that law thing. Okay. And his congregation, they uplift him, they exalt him. Okay, as the leader of Israel, right? They all do it, right? So, says all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, right? So what they say is not a bad thing. To keep the law is a good thing, no doubt. Okay, 100% it is, right? But when when you start teaching that you have to keep the law 100% to be saved, like that is a prerequisite to being saved, that's just not true. Okay, that's not true. Okay, but keeping the law is a good thing. So like we said, You know, keep the law to your best ability. What laws you can keep. Right? The law is a good thing. Okay, it will make you, you know, a better person. You know, doing more righteousness. You know, of course. Right? So it said, like it says here, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. Right? So they're out here pushing that 100% law doctrine. All right, but they themselves don't keep 100% of the law. Right? Again, it's an impossibility. Right? But they make it sound like they do. Right? And we know they can't. There's so many examples we just throw out, the random examples of the law we just throw out there, because we just know, like, in practicality, it's not possible to actually do that and keep that is impossible. You know, we throw out so many examples in that, but you know they're gonna, you know, ignore it like, oh well, you know, they keep everything, and they just don't, right? But they're gonna tell you that you have to. Okay, same was what these scribes and Pharisees were doing here, right? So just jumping over to NLT now, it says, so practice and obey whatever they tell you, but don't follow their example, right? For they don't practice what they teach. They don't practice what they teach. They can't do what they teach. They can't do what they teach. So it's folly, you know. It says, for they bind heavy, back on the KJV verse 4, says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers, right? So that, you know, like it says here on the right now, NLT says they crush people with unbearable religious demands, right? You know, unreasonable. That's not. It's an impossible. It's an impossibility that they you know, what they're asking you to do. Keep the law. Keep the law. Keep the law. Like I said, the law is good, but you can't keep it all. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't. All right. They crush people with unbearable religious demands and never lift a finger to ease the burden. They ain't trying to help. Okay, they just wanna get on, man. You know, about keeping the law, even though they ain't keeping the law themselves, right? Back in the KJV verse 5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. So they want to appear to be the righteous, the most righteous of all Israel. Okay, that's what that doctrine is there for, to appear the most righteous in Israel. Okay, but there's so much shit that's come out of, you know, IUIC over the years, man. You know, that's not what's going on. They ain't the most righteous, man. There's a whole lot of fucking fucked up shit going on in it. But, you know, they want to appear righteous. That's why they have to have the whole image going for them. You know? Have to have that whole image, man, which, you know, we can go into now, right? It says, but all their works they do for to be seen of men, they make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. Right, so on the right here it says, everything they do is for show. It's all for show. It's for enticement, to bring in more members. Not because they got the truth, because they're the most appealing, you know, on the outside, you know. So on their arms, they wear extra wide prayer boxes with scripture verses inside, and they wear robes with extra long tassels. So they put a lot into their appearance. You know, that's why they got the color coordination going on. They got the purple and the gold. You know, they got a whole bunch of fucking t-shirts and, you know, everything else. You know, like, you know, that's the image they've gone for. You know, royal purple and all this kind of stuff, right? To make them look, you know, important. They got all the handcuffs on and, you know, all of that stuff. You know, this is back here, KJV verse 6 says, and the love of love the uppermost rooms at feasts, right? And the chief seats in the synagogue. Switching to the right now, and they love to sit at the head table at banquets and in the seats of honor in the synagogues. They love the praise and adoration, man. They love it. Okay, especially Nate, right? But they love it, man. And their groupies, man. They love it too. They love, you know, exalting this man and you know, certain men in the congregation. They love doing it, man. They're groupies, man. They're not really here learning the scriptures properly. They know a few things for sure. Yeah, you know, we mostly teach the same thing. but there are important things that they do not teach, right? Which is leaving the congregation wanting, really, right? They haven't got the complete truth, and so they haven't got the complete defense from these evil times, that, from the Lord's judgment, right? So they can be found wanting, right? But they love all this groupie shit, man. Fanboy clubs and shit, right? This is verse 7 KJV says, the greetings in the markets, and to be called of men rabbi, rabbi, right? NLT verse 7 says, they love to receive respectful greetings. Like I said, they love the adoration and the exaltation, right? Like I said, they running around on horses now, and people are praising him, looking to him like some kind of god now, right? Or they're calling him a prophet Elijah now, all these types of things, man. And yeah, they don't tell man to chill. Nah, they're gonna lap it up, man. They're lapping it up, and big smiles in their faces, man. Have them the congregation members serenading them. How great they are, and they just lap it up, man. They love it. It's not the right spirit, man. Right? So they love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplace, and to be called rabbi, to be called master, right? They like all their titles and that. They have to be called by these titles, man, because they get upset if you don't call them by these titles. Back in KJV verse 8, but be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, and even Yahushua, and all ye are brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Yahushua. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Right? And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Right? They have a big problem with that. They don't know, they can't be humble. Right? They can't be humble, right? Might as well just shift over to the right now, verse 12. But those who exalt themselves will be humbled. All right, and that's eventually it's gonna come to all these camps, not just Nate's camp, but all these camps, man. They all lack humility, right? It says, and those who humble themselves will be exalted, right? Like I said, they lap up their adoration, man. They don't, put a cork on it, right? They don't, try and, lower that, for lack of better words, right? They embrace all of that. Okay, we're not here to be exalted. This is not our time. Just like when Yahushua came on the scene, people were trying to put him up there, right? But Yahushua wasn't having none of it, man. It wasn't time. It wasn't time for the exaltation, We're here to suffer. We're here to be humble, man. Okay, and not make ourselves more important than what we are. We're just simply tools in the Most High's plan, man. And and we ain't gonna receive our glory until Yahushua receives his glory. Because we ain't gonna receive glory until we reach the end of this thing, man. And being found worthy. All right, so there's no time. There should be no time, or no time to be receiving praise and exaltation on that sort of level, man. Like I said, they got the whole congregation like crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? Crying and clapping and throwing petals and shit. Like I said, serenading the guys. It's just like, what the hell, man? Where are we? Like, are we not in captivity? Like, what the fuck is going on? How can we be behaving like this in captivity? This is just madness. These guys acting like they have a throne already, and have a fucking crown on their head already, man. It's crazy. All right. KJV verse 13 now says, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Right? So he got his sorrows awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You you deny them, right? You deny them because they don't, keep 100% of the law. It's like the publican and sinner. It's like, you think you're better. You think you're better than these guys that actually have the faith, man, because they can't keep the law 100% or they don't keep the law 100%. You look down upon those men, and this is the issue that we was having in Judea at the time. You know, concerning the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, man, because you looked at them as if like these men are not worthy because they've never kept the law. They've been, all into these heathenistic customs, man. And what are you going to bring them into salvation? That, and they weren't happy with that. They were pissed off because as far as they're concerned, they've been keeping all these laws and supposedly and doing this and that in Judea, acknowledging themselves to be Israelites and all this kind of stuff, but them they got denied, they got rejected, and they were pissed off, man, that these heathens, these so-called heathens, Israelite foreigners, were going to be allowed in, So they say they shut up the door in people's faces, man, but you ain't entering in, acting like that, right? Verse 14, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Right? All the converts, man, you make them worse than what they were before they came in, after you got hold of them. All right, as it goes on to say on the right here, it says, what sorrow awaits your teachers, you teachers of religious law and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye cross land and sea to make one convert, and then you turn that person into twice the child of hell you yourselves are, right? And it's something that we mentioned, elders, apostles mentioned about, we've never had to kind of leave, where we are to get this truth out there, man. But Nate has been going on tours and shit, right, and trying to bring more and more people in. But you're not bringing them in to really like give them the truth, right? It's just another person under your authority that you can make money off, man. Essentially, And yes, without being super critical, then you're probably bringing them into like better standard of living, no doubt, because Hebrew Israelite way is a better standard of living. And if you're trying to keep the laws, you're gonna, be a better person. If you're trying to keep the laws, right? So, you've given them that at least, right? You taught them that they're an Israelite and so on and so forth. So that's all good stuff. But when we're speaking strictly about salvation, now you've not led them to that, or you're not leading them to that via your doctrine. It's not right because you're withholding from them. All right, you haven't given them the full plate, the full truth. Verse 16, KJV says, woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Whosoever therefore shall swear by the altar sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. And who shall swear by the temple sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. All right, so I'm going to go over to the NLT right here. It says, what sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are careful to tithe even the tiniest income from your herb gardens, but you ignore the more important aspects of the law, justice, mercy, and faith. You don't really push faith. In fact, you're quite against faith. There was a time, maybe even now still, you're going around calling us faith-based Israelites, man, as if faith is not an important commodity, an important aspect to have in this truth, man. Like it's not necessary or something, you know. Faith-based Israelites, like that was some sort of negative thing, when that's the most important thing. Faith, right? But you don't really push that, right? Justice and mercy. Okay, you should tithe, yes, but do not neglect the more important things. Okay, which they do. They ignore or neglect the names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Then they neglect the MOTB, the true teaching of that. These things are gonna count heavily against you in the time of trouble, man. The entire Jacob's trouble. It's gonna which you was also denying. Yeah, it's gonna count heavily against you, man. You know, these important things. All right. Verse 24 KJV says, "Ye blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess." Right. Another thing that IUIC do or represent, right? Extortion, right? Money, right? Because I say it's an organization, man, that makes a hell of a lot of money, man. You know, if the rumors are to be true, right? They generate a lot of money because they have a lot of members and they tie the shit out of the donations and stuff, right? But they're that sort of level now. It's like there's a lot of money going through, and everything they've done, even since I've been in the truth, right? At the beginning of like YouTube and stuff like that, right? They were charging for breakdowns. I remember this, right? And so they were selling breakdowns. They'll give you like a little teaser, and then they were selling the truth, man. It's about making money. This whole thing about making money. That's why you got to buy all the garments from, got to get the matching garments and all that kind of stuff. You have to do all this stuff. Passovers, yeah, you got to drop 100 or whatever the hell it was, to attend and whatever. Big ass halls, lavish halls, fucking fashion shows, movies they're making. All this is excess. Universities, it's all of it's excess, man. So extortion and excess, man, because they ain't been straight with people either. So yeah, man, that's what they are. These are who are this is who IUIC represents in the scriptures. These guys, because they're doing the exact same thing. These are the characters that they're playing, right? I'm reading on an NLT here, verse 25. "What sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are so careful to clean the outside of the cup. You look fresh on the outside, bro. Then garments look crisp. Them bangles look sparkly, man. Them haircuts look dull, look sharp. So you are so careful to clean the outside of the cup and the dish, but inside you are filthy, full of greed and self-indulgence." Yeah, that's what it is. Greed and self-indulgence. And they've got rap careers and all kinds of shit going on, man. It's just about themselves. It's just, yeah. Anyway, verse 26 KJV says, "Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter, and then the outside of them may also be clean also." Right? You got to start with the inside, man. You know what I mean? You got to get your shit right on the inside first. Once you have it all right on the inside, man, you can work on the outside after. The foundation has to be correct. The foundation might look a little rough, you know what I'm saying? Until you plaster the outside or whatever, of a building or whatever. It might look rough on the inside, You work from the inside out, but not these guys, man. Everything's about the outward appearance first. What they have contained inside isn't legit, isn't straight, NL2 says here, verse 26, "You blind Pharisee, first wash the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside will become clean too." Right? Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead man's bones and full of uncleanness. Right? So NLT now says, whatso awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but filled on the inside with dead people's bones and all sorts of impurity. Right? They ain't right. Right? And they're not in the right spirit, man. Verse 28 KJV says, even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men. Yeah, because you're saying and looking like you're righteous. You're talking like you're righteous. You have all the theatrics and, you know, all the you know, the authority and you know, the down talking. You got all that on lock, you know. Right? So you appear righteous unto men, but it says, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Right? And NLT, outwardly you look like a righteous people, but inwardly your hearts are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness. Right? Because like I said, you can't keep 100% the law, man. So for you to tell someone else to keep 100% the law, and that's how you're going to be saved, what are you doing? You can't even do that. And don't even play like you can. You know? But you do. You act like you can. You can't. So why push that you know, others have to keep the law 100%? You know? Hypocrites. Right? Reading on, this is KJV 29 says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves, that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Right? So, you know, like I said, these guys, what they are is, you know, the children of those that slayed the prophets, and they're gonna play their part in this time and age. You know, they already, you know, demonizing us, and you know, if they could, they'd have things done to us and stuff like that. You know, locked up and whatever. You know, they are playing a role, playing this role, right? Verse 31 in the NLT says this, but in saying that, you testify against yourselves that you are indeed the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Go ahead and finish what you started. So what your ancestors started, right? Snakes, sons of vipers. The Lord was cursing them out, man. The Lord was cursing them out for behaving in this manner. Right? The Lord despised them, man. It was like it was evident because these men were hypocrites. They weren't doing what they were saying. Right? So snakes, sons of vipers, how will you escape the judgment of hell? Right? And this is what we tell you, man. Like, if you carry on the way that you is, right, in these false doctrines, then ultimately you're going to be destroyed. There's going to be no salvation for you. Doesn't matter if you keep the law or not. There ain't going to be no salvation for you. Right? You know, you're wicked on the inside, man. Right? It says, verse 34. KJV says, wherefore behold, I send unto you the prophets, unto you prophets and wise men. So Most High is actually sending up prophets and wise men to, you know, to break these things down to you, man. But you men are stubborn, right? And wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify. Right? And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again. This in this era. Okay, because we're playing these same roles again. Right? And some of them shall you scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city. Now, I'm trying to remember if there was a case of the IUIC or it might be ISUPK, or you know, whatever the case may be, man. You know, you brothers have been, you know, run out of places and stuff like that, been moved, and you know, had to leave the camp spot and go and find another camp spot. We've been through things like that already. You know, as I say, these guys are performing these same roles all over again. And like I say, if they could have us locked up and stuff like that, they would have us locked up, man. You know, you've had guys, guys call gangs upon us and all that kind of stuff. We've had all kinds of shit going over the years, man. Begin with the elders and apostles. It's just these people don't want us around, because we speak the truth, you know, and they're quite happy to see us, be destroyed, man. Right, but verse 34 in the NLT says, "Therefore I am sending you prophets and wise men and teachers of religious law, but ye will kill some by crucifixion, and ye will flog others with whips in your synagogues, chasing them from city to city." 35 in KJV says, "That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, and the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar." NLT, as a result, you will be held responsible for the murder of all godly people of all time. Bro, the Lord ain't gonna let these guys off the hook. Like, the Lord really gonna let them have it. It's not a joke, you know. It says of all time, from the murder of righteous Abel to the murder of Zacharias son of Barachiah, whom he killed in the temple between the sanctuary and the altar. Verse 36 KJV, "Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chicks under her wings, and you would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate." Right? And this is we also say about these other camps. Eventually these other groups, man, they're going to be destroyed. Right? Men of the Lord's, beginning of elders and apostles of brothers of GMS, if we be of the elect, we could be the last camp standing, so to speak, right? The other camps are you to be destroyed, But also you got the men out there that don't teach under the banner of GMS but have the same doctrine. We're going to be the ones left standing, Lord willing, if we be of the elect. But these other groups, man, they're going to be dismantled, Verse 49, "For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth till ye say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord." Right? So verse 39 in the NLT says, for I tell you this, you will never see me again until you say, Blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Right? Until you acknowledge your fault, essentially, right? And eventually everyone is going to acknowledge their fault. They're going to know who the men of the Lord are. They're going to know Yahweh Shai is. They're going to be calling him by his name and the Heavenly Father by his name. Right? They're going to, do away with all the teachings that was off, But these men are going to be destroyed first, and so they're going to receive that judgment, and they're going to return to the kingdom, and like I said, do things the right way. All right, but like I said, these are the roles that we're kind of playing back and forth with. Dealing with IYC is like dealing with these wicked scribes and Pharisees here. They fit that that mold so well, This is Romans chapter 3, verse 19. It says, "Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before the heavenly God, before the Most High," right? "Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight," right? We're not being justified by the law. Even though the law is a great thing to keep, what you can, it's a great thing. But it's not what's justifying us. It's not what's going to bring us salvation. Because that was the case, we never needed Yahweh Shai in the first place. We just needed to wait for you guys to turn up, right? We just needed to wait for you guys to turn up to keep the law 100%. No, it was the Lord Yahweh Shai that did that. That's who we was waiting for. That's who our Savior is, And he bestowed grace, was able to bestow grace upon the men of Israel, okay, the elect of Israel, okay, those that believed in him, right? And that is what we're operating under right now. The grace is there to cover our shortcomings, right? That's what the grace is there for, to cover our shortcomings of the sins that we do commit, You know? I'm pretty sure I got this lined up already, but I want to get this now. Yeah, Romans 3 verse 23 says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory." Right? So, like I said, that's what the grace is there for, because we all fall short. We're not able to keep the law 100%. So therefore we fall short. Right? And that's what the grace covers, man. That's what Yahweh Shai established for us. Okay? It's James 2 verse 10. So, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. So that if you can't keep one, you can't keep any. you're still tarnished by sin. That's just what it is. You know? And you, like I said, every day that is the case. There's not one day where you're able to keep the law 100%. So you're always, not aside from the grace, we're always being tarnished, you know. But it's like the grace covers that. Okay, that makes us, clean in the sight of the Heavenly Father, you know. It's not to do with the law that's going to deliver us, right? That's what I want from that. This is Judges 5 verse 11 says that they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. Right? In that captivity, right? We're servants, we're slaves in the Esau's kingdom, right? We're the slaves and servants of this place, right? But here we're rehearsing, because before we didn't know, we wasn't doing it. There might be some things you like inherently did. You just through the spirit that you was doing that, but we didn't know. We didn't know about this. We didn't know about ourselves, right? And now we're coming to understand these things. We understand how short, how short we're actually coming to this thing. So there's a lot of stuff that we should be doing as Israelites, but can't do. And so for that acknowledgement, man, it already adds to really like the fact that shit, man, I'm fucking up. you know that the sin, the law is reminding you of your wickedness, man, the things that you're not doing. Because we know we can't keep them. All right, so we're merely rehearsing the acts under this time of grace. We're rehearsing those acts, so we could do the best that we can right now until our change comes, until we get this perfect. And that shows faith. It shows intent, right? Belief that this is the way. But we have to understand that it's not by the law that we're being saved. We're not being justified by the law. We're just simply doing our best with what we can do in our captivity. Pardon me. It's Galatians chapter 2 verse 16. It says, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law. Saying it plain, right? Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Even we have believed in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that we might be justified by the faith of Yahweh Shai. That's what we're being justified by. And not by the works of the law. Right? For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. Okay? It says it plain here that it's not the most important thing. To keep the law 100% is not the most important thing. The most important thing is to have faith in Yahweh Shai. Right? To believe. To have this truth. That is the most important thing. Right? But through that, you're going to do your best. You're going to try, knowing these scriptures, you're going to try and do your best to, do as much good as you can. You keep the law to the best of your abilities, right? And all that stuff, man. You got to do what you can because you believe. These going back to the ancient scribes and Pharisees, man, even though they weren't keeping the law, man, they were robotic with it, man. Robot has no soul, right? They would be robotic with it, man. Like, they just want, we just keep the law. We ain't, that's enough. But like I said, they weren't really keeping the law, man. They weren't being sincere in what they were doing. You have to be sincere in this thing, man. If you think you can disregard everything else, as long as you keep the law, that's not going to work out, man. That's not going to work out at all. And that was the crux of the scribes and Pharisees. They weren't delivered. They weren't saved. They weren't chosen. They were left out. And they're going to be left out again today, because they're here again today. And they're going to be destroyed. Right? Because of their unbelief, because of their lack of faith. Because of their pride. Because they thought they were better than everybody else. But they were corrupt. All right? This is Galatians 3 verse 11. It says, but no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High. It is evident, right? For the just shall live by faith. The just shall live by faith. So us faith-based Israelites, that's how we're going to live. Right? We're going to live by faith. Okay, we're not going to be, condemned because we didn't keep 100% of the law. All right? So the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Right? So that's how we do our best with it, right? It says Yahushua have redeemed us from the curse of the law. Right? The judgment that's attached to it, the punishment. That's why we're under grace. To be made a curse for us, for it is written, curses everyone that hangeth on the tree. Right? So we're not being judged according to the law, even though we may have transgressed parts of that law that deserve death. But it's not going to prevent us from being delivered if you're the elect. That you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It's not going to prevent you, man. It's not the defining factor in your salvation, man. All right, it's Acts chapter 13, verse 39. It says, and by him, all that believe are justified from all things, all wickedness, all sins, all crime that you've done. Right? As long as you believe in Yahweh Shai. But like I said, if you believe, then you're going to be trying to do the best that you can. Okay, you ain't going to be trying to do all this madness, all this wickedness that you was doing once back in the world. Okay, you're going to make changes, man. According to, what's written. But it doesn't mean that you're going to have everything perfect and down packed, man. You fuck up, man. We fuck up. We mess up from time to time, man. Okay, but we're in this flesh and the Lord understands that, man. That's why the Lord gave us grace. Otherwise, we didn't need the grace. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense, man. You could do this without Yahweh Shai. It's just ridiculous. I'm going to close out with this. Is Galatians chapter 5, verse 4. I'll jump up one. This is verse 3. All right, so for I testify again to every man that is circumcised that he is adapted to do the whole law. Right? It's because we're part of the covenant, right? It says, Yahweh Shai has become of no effect unto you. Right? What's Yahweh Shai got to do with you? If you're about keeping the law, what's Yahweh Shai got to do with you? What he's done has no effect for you. It doesn't change anything for you, right? It says, whosoever of you are justified by the law, which is what you claim to, to be, to keep 100% law and you can be saved and whatever, ye are falling from grace. You ain't got the grace. You ain't receiving grace. You'll be held accountable to the law, right? That you so much proclaim, right? Yahweh Shai isn't going to help you. It's not helping you in any type of way because you're about the law and you're not about him. Yahweh Shai, gave grace to those that believe in him, i.e. the elect. That's why ultimately the grace is only for the elect. It's open to, technically all of Israel, but we know there's a chosen elect. And so those elect have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Other guys don't have it. So really the grace is not for them. The grace is there to cover the elect for their transgressions. It ain't covering the rest of Israel. And that's why you can pray the law all you want, man. You don't keep the law 100%. And therefore, you're going to be judged by the law when it's time. Because it's impossible for you to keep the law 100%. So the only thing that's going to save you, man, because it won't. Because it's a lie. You're lying to yourself. You believe that you keep the law 100%, man. And you're acting all proud about it, you know, proud over it and stuff, man. You're going to be destroyed. You know? You're not covered by Yahweh Shai. You know, because you went the law route, man. Oh, I'll keep the law. I don't need that grace. I don't need Yahweh Shai. I kept the law. Well, we'll find out, innit? You know? We find out. You know? Like I said, it's just simply not the case, man. Keeping the law 100% is not a prerequisite of salvation. Okay, belief in Yahweh Shai is, man. Okay, and like I said, that's something that they don't focus on over there. All right, so verse 5, for we, through the Spirit, wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. Right, that is what we're waiting for. All right. So for Yahweh Shai Mashiach, neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith, which worketh by love. Right? So only these things don't mean matter. You have to have the faith. Okay, or believing that you can keep 100% the law to be saved, man. It's just you're lying to yourself, man, and lying to your congregation. You know, and ultimately it's gonna end in a bad way for you lot, because you don't have the faith of Yahweh Shem Shai. So therefore, you're not covered by His grace. You know. So I believe that was it. Yeah. So I'm gonna end it there. Lord, when this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.